wanna see your face. I wanna know your heart. I wanna walk with you every day.
Hey my lovely YouTubers, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me, your girl Morgan Tracy J. Today's video is actually a video that I've coming super organic, guys, because I didn't even plan to record today, but it's one of those days, okay? So this is actually a question I get from so many of you, and I want to give you some tips today how to overcome your sin, okay? This sounds crazy. Some people are like, Morgan, we already overcame our sin. We're perfect now. But guys, I haven't even overcame all of my sin. I'm still struggling through sin myself. So I want to give you some tips today on things that have truly helped me overcome sin, because I get this question a lot. Women say, hey, I'm struggling in pornography. I'm struggling with masturbation. I'm struggling with doing these certain things that I know I shouldn't be doing, like Monty chewing on stuff. Like, I'm struggling in these areas, and what exactly do I do? How do I get out of this? And the biggest tip I have to give you, boo, is when I get your messages, I'm like, what are you doing with your life? Because I want to tell you, when I got my focus and my purpose and my vision, sin had to fall off because I had no time for it. So for example, before I would run to the club, I'd be in and out of different beds, talking to dudes, whatever, focused on all these other things. But when I got a vision for my life, that stuff didn't matter anymore because I was so focused on making sure this thing flourished. And so I think that right there is a big factor. If you're depressed, if you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling depleted, it's most likely because you do not have a vision for your life. You're probably roaming aimlessly on autopilot, not knowing what you're doing. And I want to tell you, it tells us in the word that an idle mind is the devil's playground. Idle means not working, not moving, and staying still. You're just stuck. That is the devil's playground. So it makes sense that when you are feeling so depressed and all of a sudden you want to turn on some pornography. It makes sense when you've been laying in bed all day, you want to masturbate. Boo, it's because you're not working towards something. You're not having a focus. You're not having a drive towards something, right? And so that's why you have to have a vision for your life. Now you may say, Morgan, how do I get a vision for my life? Like, how do I get that? And I will tell you, it comes from the word. It tells us in the word that a man's heart plans his ways, but God directs our steps. And I ask you guys this all the time, but this is how you come out of sin, guys. You get so focused on what God has for you that you don't even have time. You don't even got the energy to play around with certain things. Now, I'm not going to lie, guys. I still have my sins, though. It's not like I'm perfect over here. I still have my things. But the things that are detrimental to my vision, I don't have those. I will be honest, okay? Things that were once detrimental to my vision, like overly drinking, overly smoking, overly doing things, like those are no longer mine. But I do be having some personal sins, like some mental sins, you know, when you think of some things you shouldn't be thinking about. Yeah, all that stuff definitely still happens to me on a daily, okay? But the thing is, I don't let it stop me. I acknowledge it and say, Lord, forgive me for that. I was thinking about, oh boy, like this. I was thinking about doing this, and that, and the third. Forgive me, Jesus. Let's keep it pushing, okay? And so that's kind of just your process. The first thing you have to do, though, if you're trying to break out of this, is you got to get a vision for your life. That means you got to make a plan. You got to say, hey, I want the degree. I want to go back to school. Or, hey, I want to build that business. I want to do this. So this is my vision. And I want to tell you, I got a vision probably at about 22 or 23 that I knew I wanted to do ministry and YouTube full time. Now, I was far from that, okay? I'm not going to lie. But I had that vision. Now, what it took, though, is it took years and years of this. But in the process, I was still in school. I was still going to work. I was still doing my everyday life. But I was making sure I was still working on that vision. And I want to tell you, you got to make up your mind, though. And that is so big. And sometimes people will write me and say, like, I don't know what to do. You have to make your mind up. You have to pick something and let God open up that door. So the step one is pick a vision. Just grab something. Say, hey, I believe that this thing is for me and I'm going to just try it. If it fails, it fails. But I know God will use everything for my good. I want to tell you, I always say, before I even had my ministry, I had another ministry that no one knew about because it failed, okay? But it's like that ministry taught me how to run this one, right? And so it's like God used that bad for good over here. And so I will say, like, don't overthink this thing. Just be willing to make sure you make up your mind and get a vision for your life. Know where you are headed. See it clearly and say, Dad, this is what I believe you have put on my heart. Like for me, example, I know God has called me to impact the youth. I know He has called me to talk and speak a word to people. I know that. And so that is my vision. That's what I see myself doing. And I've seen it for years and I keep doing it, okay? The next thing, guys, is pray for God's direction. It says that you make the plan, but God directs your steps. So make sure that you not only are making this plan, but you're praying for his direction to help you plan. This means I pray every day, or especially definitely on Mondays for my ministry. I'll pray over my ministry and I'll pray for the week's goals. But God doesn't say, Morgan, plan to make sure you write this one person back. He doesn't whisper that to me. I just put it on my to-do list and I make it happen. But I'm praying for direction that he helps me along the week's journey to make sure I'm doing the things he has called me to do, okay? But I'm still just doing it in Morgan. I'm just still walking and doing it as Morgan. The third thing is, guys, is you gotta get up and take action. I will say, if you are somebody who is battling with depression, pornography, you don't feel like you have a vision for your life, you gotta get yourself out of bed. Years ago, I was looking like this, and I was living at my parents' house, and I was very, very depressed. So depressed with my life. I felt so lost. I was like 25 years old, feeling like life was just pointless for me. And guess what, guys? I made myself get up every single day and do devotion. I made myself get up every day, go out in the backyard and pray or something. I always made myself get up because I knew that if me just deciding to get up every single day and make the most out of my day, even in my depressed state, something good would come. Like I knew God was not going to leave me nor forsake me. And I want to tell you, you got to get yourself up. Get up out of bed. Don't sleep till 12. Don't roll around. Get yourself up and say, today I'm going to make today the best day I can. With whatever resources I have, with whatever gift I have, I'm going to make it the best day I can. And I want to tell you that has helped me for years and years. And it still helps me today. Some days I don't want to get out of bed. Some days I don't want to get up and do the things I have to do. But you know what I tell myself? I always make sure that I'm making sure that I know that if I do not work on my vision and if I have an idle mind, it will become the devil's playground. Literally. It has done it many, many times before, okay? I'm speaking from experience. The fourth thing is, guys, you got to get so focused on your purpose that you don't have room for that sin. What I mean is, sin is all around us. The idea of sin is like you're going to do something bad, but don't think of it like that. Think about distractions. I don't necessarily look at sin as like, oh, there's something going to get me, whatever. I look at it as distractions. When you get so focused on your purpose, you limit the distractions that you allow in your life, and you actually do inventory on your distractions. So for example, when I'm focused on my purpose, I will look and say, you should meet up with your friend on this day only, not on this day, because you've got things to do, right? You schedule your distractions appropriately, okay? And so that's what happens, is how you start to structure your life. And you want to leave no room for additional distractions. Now, things are going to happen in life, but when I say that, I mean you don't leave no room for sin. You're not laying around in bed all day thinking of, oh boy, and then you end up masturbating. You're not doing that. You're getting yourself up and you're making sure, hey, I can talk to oh boy later, I can do things, whatever. I can go out and meet with my friend, oh later, but I'm not going to be doing that right now because I don't have time for that, right? You don't be laying around thinking of all kinds of things or trying to go out and do certain things, buy some recreational drugs and stuff. Why? Because you're so focused on your purpose, girl. You don't got all that time. You trying to build this thing, right? So that's what I'm trying to tell you. Your fourth thing is get so focused on your purpose, you don't have room for it. And you start taking inventory on your distractions. Like, will I allow myself to be distracted by that this weekend? No, I ain't got time for it. Next weekend, I can allow that though. But this weekend, I ain't doing it. You see what I'm saying? You got to kind of get yourself to a place where you're willing to take inventory on your purpose and on your life. And lastly, if you are someone that keeps struggling with your mindset and you keep struggling with depression, you keep struggling and you feel like you can't find your way out, the biggest thing, guys, is, and I said it in the beginning, I got to say it again, get a vision for your life. This means see yourself, and many times God has already shown them to us. We just don't want to hold on to it because it feels so scary. But you've got to be willing to see yourself as your better self. You got to see something better for yourself. God has given us this amazing gift within our mind. It's called imagination. There were times I was so depressed that I would lay down and I would think I was going to buy me a pink couch. I would think that, hey, one of these days I'm going to move to this city and I'm going to go hard for my dream. Even when I had no money, I imagined that. I thought of it. I prayed about it. I made plans for it. And I want to tell you, you can do that for yourself also. You don't want to get so stuck in depression that you never get yourself up and you never get a vision for your life. You deserve a vision for your life. You need a vision for your life, because having a vision for your life is going to transform your life, catapult you into who you are called to be. But I want you to be willing to take life by the horns, by the reins, whatever they call it, and pick a vision. I say, hey, you know what? I'm really gifted at singing, so I'm going to focus on singing. Hey, I'm really gifted at business and speaking. I'm gonna focus on that. Hey, I've got multiple gifts, but I really get lost when I'm doing music. I'm gonna focus on music. Whatever it may be, boo. Life is so short. Pick a gift, run after it, and watch God open up so many doors, okay? So that's kind of my video for today, boo. I just wanted to inspire you to make sure you go for your vision, and you also get out of sin, get out of the bed, get out of that out of mind, because if you're not working towards something, the enemy will come in and get you working on something else, okay? And have you so distracted. All right, well guys, I did a lot of talking. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, subscribe, and you comment down below your biggest takeaway, and I'll see you in my next video. I made some coffee, so you guys know how I make my coffee. So good. Love you guys.